Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Abone, and today what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to take a sprite that you made like this and basically remake it into and reapply the shading and coloring to basically make it basically increase the sprite quality to about this level right here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your color palette here. Okay, yeah, I don't need this in the way, but take your color palette here, and you're gonna want to take each color and make a much darker version of it for the purpose of basically the outline of each color. So I'm just gonna do that and be right back. Okay, now as you can see, I've basically given each color an extremely dark level of shading that we can use for the outline. Now, reshading some of these sprites can be a little bit tedious, especially if you have a lot of outlines going around everywhere, because it'll you have to basically go into each small little outline here and make sure it's the right, and sometimes it's a bit tough, like remembering which color each piece or whatever is supposed to be, but you'll get the hang of it after a while. Honestly, the best advice I can give you for this is there's really no like quick way to become an incredibly good animator. Well, I don't know, maybe there is, but I sure don't know it. But honestly, the best thing that you need is like practice and more practice and more practice. It really helps if you're animating something that you actually want to that you actually want the finished product of. If you're animating something lame that you don't care about, it's very likely that you will end up flaking out on it and never getting it done because you really don't care about it. But if you actually have a clear vision in mind of what you want it to be, and you actually really care about making it about the end result that you have in mind, you're a lot more likely to actually work hard to achieve that, if that makes sense. That's why I really don't prefer that's why a lot of animation classes, well, I don't know if this is true for anyone else, but for me, I don't really enjoy animation classes much, mostly just because oftentimes you'll be doing the designs that the teacher wants you to do instead of what you want to do, and that is totally justified. It makes sense because the teacher is the teacher, and they're sacrificing their personal time teaching you. But but what I would do in my animation classes is I would always try to finish as quickly as possible, just so I could use the programs for my own projects, since they were only installed on the I would always try to finish as quickly as I could so that I could just go and basically do my own assignment, as the programs that were on that computer, on the school computers, I didn't have at home at the time, so yeah. So programs like Adobe Flash, which is, if you don't know, that's an animating program, I only had it on my computer at school and not at home. So I would always try to, well, I guess I'm talking about all this stuff in the past tense, but yeah, this is all like recent. I'm still in high school and everything like that, but anyway, I'll just let you guys skip to the end of this. Alright, now you can see I've finished, but since the tutorial so far is only like 5 minutes long, well, not even that, I am going to show you in this tutorial also how to create shading only sprites. So This one is the most complicated of the three styles that I do, mostly just because when you have outlines, it's very difficult to make sure that people can tell that when objects of the same color are labeled over each other. Like, for example, you see my arms here. Um, Without the shading, it would be very difficult to tell what they even are, because they just look like one big lump of the same color. So you have to add different amounts of shading to make sure people know what it's supposed to be. Alright, now the first thing you want to do, this is going to sound very weird, but what you want to do is you get rid of all the shading and make this whole part one color. Wait, I think I missed. Yeah, that's a different color. But what you want to do is you want to remove all the shading at first of a certain of whatever part of the art or whatever you want to do, and so that you can see the outline is gone, all the different shades are gone, and so you can then make it a single color. And once you've done that, the whole point of doing that is so that you can apply shading to that color without having to worry about the outlines or any shading that was already there that might mess it up. And now I can take these other separate colors and apply them without any, like, for example, you can see there's his neck here, which is very separate from his head. So what you want to do is you want to make sure the shading shows that, you know, there's shading here on the bottom of his chin, across the bottom of his chin, but there isn't any, like, but the shading on his neck still good. Am I making sense here? I certainly hope so. But you can see that the shading on his chin extends a bit past the shading on his neck, so that you can see that the chin is overlapping. Next thing you want to do is probably the hair. I'll grade that out real quick. Okay, now for this one, as you can see, I've actually left some of the outline intact, mostly for the reason that some of the parts overlap here, like this little fluff of hair, bang, whatever that little piece of a hairstyle is called, I suppose. But he has that there, and so what I want to do is take this shade of yellow. I'm going to take this lighter shade of yellow on the very end here and attach it. Well, I think there should, now that I'm looking at this, I should probably add a bit more disparity between the shades of yellow. So I'm going to do that real quick, because sometimes I decide, if you ever see that your shades aren't like distinct enough from each other, it's totally fine to decide that maybe you should add a bit more distinction between the different shades of your color that you're using. That works a lot. It's somewhat helpful a lot of times, but anyway. Sometimes when I'm adding to my final three-dimensional shading sprite, a lot of the time I will add small pixels depending on, because a lot of the time you'll get certain pixels that would look good in that specific style when there is an outline, but then you add all the shading and it doesn't fit, and so sometimes you will have to change a few things, but that's totally normal, and I'm used to it. But anyway, with lots of practice, you should be able to do this pretty easily. Well, since I'm almost done with the hair, I think soon I'll move on to hoodie and start doing that. But I'm not sure how much of this you'll actually need to watch before you start to understand it, because a lot of this is just me doing the same process on different parts. So once again, if there's anything that you feel needs more explaining that I didn't explain very well, feel free to ask me in the comments to elaborate on something, or what I should show in the next tutorial that you were interested in learning, I guess. But a lot of this is just just rinse and repeat. So or if there's anything else that you want me to do tutorials of in the future, that I do, I suppose, then I would be very glad to do that. Although, like, if there's anything that I do that you would like me to do other tutorials on, I would be totally happy to receive your suggestions on that. Because well, I like making videos to help people and stuff like that. I suppose I'll just pause right here about, and maybe I'll just do a time lapse of the following drawing. Alright, and here's the finished Sprite. I think it turned out pretty okay. Oh, looks like I forgot the hand here. But that's easily fixed. Anyway, so that's my tutorial today, I guess. If there's anything you guys would like me to, any tutorials or videos, whatever that you guys would like me to do in the future, just please let me know down in the comments. I also do speed paints, so if you have any ideas of what speed paints you would like to see me do, I would be happy to oblige if you would put that down in the comments. So anyway, I guess I will see you all next time, and I think next time I will begin to show you how to create sprites in a way that basically basically sprites that are meant to be animated, a bit like these ones over here, like running, jumping, swinging swords, or these ones which are for perhaps a four-directional type of maybe RPG style kind of game, or Legend of Zelda. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope I helped someone learn to animate, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!